You eyeing that fresh shat bare paws lump of lumber yonder? That be the misery's delight. Malnage's pus-stuffed canker of a boat.
Test, test. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be continuing the adventures of Renfail the Druid and his party of 5 in Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. We have arrived in the city of... I forget what the name of this place is. Nekataka, I think is what it's called. Looks like Seravan had something to say. Avast, fucking fuck, Captain. You eyeing that thrice-shot bare-poles lump of lumber yonder? That be the misery's delight. Malnage's pus-stuffed chance of a boat. He points wildly at a half-galley dock nearby. Only 2 hands hold the deck. The remaining crew may be below decks, or they may be ashore. I can't keep track of all your pirate friends.
Malnage, High Queen Sea Devil of the Deadfire. Unfortunately, also the second best ship hunter around. After yours truly, of course.
He huffs. Color rises in Alice's cheeks. He shakes his head.
Doxy popped a hard on and a half for hating me the tick I joined the sorcerer. Romaro shielded me from the worst of her training. When they bountied him, I figured for sure the Rat Queen would be the first rat up the gangplank. Malnage be up in Romaro's head, or I've never had a roll on the waves. She finds him for us. She'll sink him soon as sighted. Come on, Captain.
He bounces on the balls of his feet. Jody chokes back a laugh. Doubled over, she slaps one knee, then the other. Okay. So we've got various quests here. Dun, 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 dun. We may actually want to... Well, we kind of need to follow these quests for the moment. Get another level or two, and then we'll worry about goods and services from Captor Eldis. Alright. So here we have a goal to reach Kahanga Palace in the Serpent's Crown District. But I guarantee you there's going to be a whole lot of stuff that happens before we get there. First of all, we're on the docks, which means we'd be amiss if we didn't loot every single thing we came across.
And now Port Marche is behind us. I thought this would be a relief.
Who are you?
Need a fresh jacket or pants? Something more delicate? If you have a frame, I can fit cloth to it without fuss.
The tailor eyeballs your shoulder width, doing some mental calculation. Sure, let me see what you
Take
have.
your time. I'll give you space to browse.
Mostly, I want to sell off some of this stuff. I don't have anything to sell because I've sold it all before. Ooh, he has a cape. Grants Steeled in Darkness. During nighttime, this aura grants all nearby allies a bonus to their stealth skill and resolve. Why not? Cloak of Deflection. I'm buying both of those because... Okay. We're going to give the Cloak of Deflection to Aloth. Where did it go? Oh, it's probably in my personal stash. Yep. Cloak of Deflection. Very nice. And let's give the other cloak. What's it look like? Fair enough.
I sure do like it.
She always comments every time I give her something. That's so funny. Alright. Cobbler. Dockside Arms and Armor. Back Alley. Road East. Audra Mill. Map Emporium. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of stuff right where we're at. This is a big place. Okay, so let's go up here and visit these places first, and then we'll work our way around.
Care for a fish or two, stranger? Today's catch, ripped straight from the hands of the salty wench.
The fishmonger lets out an accomplished sigh.
You'll find no fresher.
Well, let's see what you've got, buddy. Okay, nothing that I want.
I'm in the lake.
Sure.
pursues
Dora
Zamar.
must think I work for free. Be with you in just a... Almost had it. Damn your eyes.
The sun-scarred dwarf gingerly picks at a splinter in his thumb, muttering.
Hazard of the work, really.
He gives up with a frustrated grunt, shaking his hand.
Came in on the sloop? I can hammer your ship together if you're apt to pay me for it.
Zamar bares his teeth and grinds them hard enough to sound over the noise of the dock. Having trouble with the client?
Aye. Captain Redora hasn't paid me for her commissioned firepower.
Zamar pulls at the end of his beard and winces.
While I'm up to my nose in debt, the wild mare gobbles up her coin. And now, pirates are holding my feet to the fire over some sham of a deal.
Zamar winces and tugs harder on his beard in self-administered punishment.
If I don't get Redora's payment, I might as well start carving my swallow net.
If someone bought Redora's commission, would that solve your money problems?
Aye, but only once she fesses up that she doesn't have the coin.
Sifting among his beard, Zamar finds a black hair and plucks it out.
Call me a fool for holding out hope. She's an old client and a friend.
Well, if it gets me a discount, I could hunt her down for you.
You'd do that? A fair price goes without saying, Cully.
Zamar untangles his hand from his beard to link his thumb and forefinger with a wink.
It all comes down to blasted pans and pyres in the end, doesn't it?
Zamar spits towards the dock pilings and glances back at the work still to be done. I'd like to see your goods.
Oh, come take a look.
He steps aside to show you the contents of his crates. Yeah, this is where I can buy better ships. Ooh, a galleon. Oh, yeah. We're gonna be saving up and spending some money. Hull health 120. Hit chance 70. I feel like the galleon's the best. Oh, and he's got all sorts of fun stuff for the ships. Oh, yeah. We're going to be spending a bunch of money with him. Not yet, but soon.
Leave it to me.
Alright, so that's all of that explored. Let's go talk to the cobbler. Ah, the Valen Trading Company. We've done work for them.
The Hazanui is at the palace, blaming the Valians for attacking one of their ports.
Well, did they?
Of course not. But the Queen must calm them down before they go to war over it.
Who are you, Akema?
Well met, stranger. Akira, but isn't this district a fine place?
The Hawana woman stares off into the distance with a longing expression. Turn to see what she's looking at. She doesn't settle on any point of particular interest. Everything from the high buildings to the cobblestones is a subject of fascination. She notices your attention and turns her eyes to the ground.
I am not one meant to venture far from the gullet. Until recently, I had a respectable job at the Luminous Bathhouse. Now that I am unemployed, I seek to make myself useful before the money runs out, and I must return to the Roparu as a pauper.
She frowns and turns her gaze back to you. You worked at the Luminous Bathhouse.
A wonderful place. Would that I could cross its threshold again and feel the mist of luminous waters.
Her smile is sad, if genuine.
In spite of my time there, I cannot do else but give it my highest recommendation. You will find the luminous bathhouse in Periki's Overlook.
How did you lose your job?
More happens at the bathhouse than cleanliness and ease. It is a place of meetings, business, and transactions, to all of which the attendants are either blind or deaf. One day, I overheard, more than I ought to have. In my erring, I gasped. To my great shame, I showed a most unprofessional reaction before clients. I was fired, and rightly so.
She bows her head. What did you overhear? Akema shakes her head and lowers it in deepest shame. She's trembling, and it's clear that, in her estimate, she has suffered enough without debasing herself even further. Tell me about Queen's Birth.
The Queen granted this area of the city to the Valian outsiders. Here they organized their business and trade, digging up the archipelago with both hands and carrying riches overseas.
She glances towards the docks.
In her welcoming embrace, the Queen allowed a similar concession to the Royal Deadfire Company. You would do well to see as much of Nekataka while you are here, I am thinking.
Could you direct me to the palace?
Akira, you want to follow the road north, up the mountain, always climbing. It is the highest point in the city.
Farewell. All right.
Why not?
Merla, how is Ellen? They're taken.
Okay. What is she on about? No sooner do you approach the Valen woman than she squints and turns up her nose, regarding you with thinly veiled distaste.
I only deal with serious clients. Now shoo.
She makes a sweeping gesture with both hands. Excuse me?
Ak, done. You are dismissed. Madiko. But it is impossible to find skilled work when every competent freelancer wastes their shore leave in the wild mare.
She grimaces towards the east.
When blood travels south of their brains, the value of a good bounty is forgotten.
Why aren't more sailors accepting work?
Ak, but I blame Luminous Adra.
She folds her arm and exhales sharply through her nose.
Our privateers are busy escorting shipments out of the Deadfire. Everyone is rich, no one is hungry. Where are the Casitas willing to sink their enemies for a bag of pyres, huh? Drunk on success.
She waves derisively towards the east. So what bounties do you have available?
I do not make a habit of shepherding new talent, but ugh, there is a seed of potential.
She sighs to herself and peers over your shoulder before giving up and addressing you directly.
We will cut your teeth on Biakara, a Huana sailor and would-be patriot who plagues company ships.
Okay.
Gelarde. Biakara sails a voyager's scale of Tangaloa off of Hazongo's northeastern coast.
Ania studies you once more before shrugging and seeing you off of the wave.
Questions?
Okay, so that's ship hunting. So we're going to become a pirateer. Uh-oh. Well, let's hold that thought before we do this. You duck down into the canal and find yourself kneeling before an iron grate. The reek of sewage wafting from the other side is powerful enough to bring tears to your eyes. The iron bars are set firmly into the surrounding brick, barring any passage armors. Alright, we're gonna leave for the moment because I don't know what that's for. Nothing like a good sneeze to wake you up. What building is this? This is the Valian Trading Company headquarters. I would think that I can come in here.
If you've come on business with the Valiant Trading Company, it will have to wait until morning. We're closed.
Okay, so
There's no need for you to be here after hours. Move along.
farewell. Alright, so I can come back in the morning. It's time to visit the tavern. Let's go loot these things first.
I don't have a voice for shanties these days. Too much soul here.
Not even my black darling.
A tiny minute of falsetto per complaincanet.
Interesting things tend to happen in taverns. All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to the
Hail
barkeep.
and welcome to the Wild Mare, friend.
A jovial man at the bar grins and motions you closer. His arms are corded with thick muscle and cross-hatched with scars.
Now, what can I do for you?
Well, let me show you. See what you have for sale.
You see anything you like, you let me know.
Roger that. We're going to sleep. Well, for the moment, we're just going to rest backstage. Nah. Yeah. Just to get ourselves back up to speed. Aloth wants to talk to me.
Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others.
He gives you a grateful smile that fades almost as quickly as it appears.
I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative.
Seraphin strokes his braided beard beneath a quiet smirk. Shodi's eyes narrow, dark flashes fusing. Excuse me. Simpler than your involvement with the leaden key? Absolutely.
I hoped you'd understand.
He nods. Hands on his hips, Seraphin grins. Shodi puffs out a heated breath.
Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity.
So what exactly are you doing out here?
After we parted, I set out to destroy the leaden key.
Adair gives a nod and a wink.
It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down leaden key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret.
He knits his brows.
Trying to undo them.
And how's... They're doing the right thing, don't forget it. He gives you a wan smile.
The task has been more difficult than I anticipated.
Listen.
I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make. Or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours.
He glances at you out of the corner of his eyes. Is there some way I can help?
I wish I knew. After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Leaden Key's members and operations.
But?
Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Avelia. A run-down backwater of a place. Aye, right home like it was.
Alas's expression shifts as Isilmer briefly emerges. So this is an awoken elven woman who lives within him.
Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition.
He grimaces.
You got an eye for charming little towns, I'll say that much.
At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt.
Oh, what'd you do?
The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. Reminded me of Theos.
He raises an eyebrow at you.
Wicked old bunbag. 'Tis what the lad means.
He was a tyrant. I was certain that if the villagers were free of his influence, they'd be free from the bloodletting too. So I arranged for him to have an accident.
He gives you a sly look. Seraphine's eyes close as he nods along. Irked, Jody runs her tongue over her teeth. And then?
The old man died, and the villagers were terrified. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, and every other mishap that befell them, on their lack of faith. So they began bloodletting every week, turning on their neighbors for giving too little.
His lips twist as if the words themselves have a bitter taste.
Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week.
He's worked the edge of his sash into a tight knot. He clenches it between pale, rigid fingers. You couldn't have known that that would happen. It's not your fault.
I had to do something, didn't I?
He turns to you with wide, anguished eyes. He pauses again, untwisting the sash at his lap.
I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better.
I don't have an answer for that.
Then at least I'm in good company.
He gazes at the horizon, seeming to gather his thoughts.
Thank you. It's a relief to share this burden. You've given me a lot to think about.
You still haven't told me what the Animancers have to do with any of this.
Ah, that.
He massages his temples.
I'm looking for an old Leaden Key sect. I've found several references, but...
He breaks off, shaking his head.
I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
We'll talk more later then. Okay.
I'll be aiming to thank you for bringing me aboard.
A furred hand at his belly and one heel out, he bows deeply, drooping ear almost touching the ground.
You run a tight shop, and you ain't no terrible person either. It'd be a welcome change from the gentleman of leisure.
No, you're welcome.
I've a gift for you. This trinket be from one of the first ships I hunted. Malnage would have snatched it had I not found a perfect hiding spot.
Where'd you hide it?
I know were I to tell you that, you mightn't want it no more.
Seraphim gives an innocent whistle while scratching his ass as subtly as one could scratch it. Adair seems pleased, while Jody's eyes gleam with a dark amusement.
Just a jest, Cap. Nay, I tucked it away in my beard. Didn't wear braids back then, so my hair caught about everything from feathers to fish bones. Malnar shook me down for plunder after each raid. I figured out she wouldn't go nowhere near my beard. Said my face were like a saw rip fetish.
Thanks for the gift, Seraphim.
You be entirely welcome. Now, if you'll pardon me, I've roundabout reached my limit for sentiment.
Interesting. That is a neck piece.
I feel bad there's not enough
I must
for
say,
everybody.
our adventures together have been a welcome change of pace.
Aloth approaches you, looking more at ease than you've seen in a while. We work well together.
That we do, but it's more than that.
He laces his fingers together, considering his words.
When we first met in the Deerwood, you were struggling for your sanity. Now you're fighting for your soul.
He pauses.
I can't imagine the weight of that burden. And yet you've borne it, and more remarkably.
Well, it's not as though I have a choice.
But you do.
His expression brightens with sudden emotion.
The gods have sent you after Aethys, and every power of note in Deadfire has their own plans for you.
He tilts his head.
That puts you in a position of incredible influence. I'm glad you don't take your responsibilities lightly.
Circumstances have put me in a position to help others.
If only more people thought as you do.
He sighs.
I hope you'll remember this in the days to come.
He gives you a thoughtful nod. Alright, anybody else want to talk to me? Okay, let's quick save, because everybody and their brother was talking to me there for a few minutes. Who are you?
Do you enjoy coin, my friend? Can you live? Ado, my friend. I knew our paths would cross eventually.
Avalian shouts over the din of the wild mare to get your attention, turning a great many heads to study your exchange. He takes a hearty swig of his tankard. Wink. I'll bet you say that to all of your clients.
Que? No, you mistake me. I am not one of the courtesans. Tell me, you are the one who sails that fine ship, Ak? Terrorize the docks with spirits, Ak?
Leaning in close, he sips from the tankard and loudly sucks moisture from his upper lip. Who's asking?
I am Aboko, and I am positioned to offer... I have opportunities for...
He clumsily unfolds a sheaf of parchment. The tankard slips in his grasp and spills ale down the front of his trousers. He gawks down at himself in horror.
1,000 times I practiced my speech. Merda. Never did it go this poorly.
Just give him an ale. You need this more than I do.
Agrasima. Do you know what my problem is, amico?
He accepts the tankard and drinks deeply.
I am supposed to be in the business of giving bounties, but I know no one who hunts them.
He stamps his feet, kicking up a spray of spilled ale.
No one will unfurl their sail for my humble payments. But I must start from the bottom and work my way to the top, Ak?
What bounties do you have available?
You will take the job? You will take the job.
He grips you by the shoulders and smiles, tears springing to the corners of his eyes.
Agrasima. Something special for my first hunter, then.
He drains his tankard and tucks it under his arm to retrieve his sheaf of notes.
I will start you on Meriel, the mad animancer. She tortures her victims with unspeakable treatments before casting what's left to Berath's will. My contact saw her leaving Port Mage and heading west of Mage Island.
Ah, I've already taken care of her. Give Meryl's head. She joins the goddess of death in the beyond.
My first bounty to pay off. An exciting day for us both.
Abako passes you a small pouch of coins.
Maybe it's not much, but as I make more deals, more pyres will be available, Ak?
You seem down on your luck.
It is true that I have stumbled in my career path.
He clears his throat.
Now that I have such an accomplished hunter, I can stand in the long shadow of your success.
He claps you on the shoulder.
It's not all bad, but the momentum of meeting new clients over drinks and in such enchanting company, it drains the stamina, my friend.
What bounties do you have available?
I finally managed to land the rights to a bounty of value. You may not like it. There is a thirsty drake who roosts near an oasis northeast of Mage Island. An important site for refilling canteens. The local tribes call him Purakeo, after a sea dragon of legend. Even so, they have no love for this water thief.
I'll return with his head.
And the sea, and the sea.
No, that would be stealing. Alright, who are you? Captain Radora.
You say I cannot down the rest? Watch me, amico.
A Valian sailor raises her tankard and arches her back to invite a torrent of ale down her expectant mouth. Holding this pose with nothing to show for it, she taps the tankard's base and furrows her brow at its apparent emptiness. Her companion shakes his head and focuses attention elsewhere.
Madico, it is no wonder I thirst.
As she wipes her mouth with the back of her hand, her eyes widen and meet yours.
Ado, why do you stare?
Zamar sent me to collect your debt.
Merla, and he hired muscle.
Rodora takes a shaky step back.
Sientere, but you are too late to collect.
She holds out her palms and flinches at the blow that doesn't come.
A gang in the northern alley stole every coin. I cannot hire a crew, much less repay Zamar.
Rodora slowly lowers her trembling hands. Alright, let's go with number 2. Zamar's having pirate trouble. Could this gang be connected?
If they wanted Zamar to thirst for coin, it is possible. Botzos will regret it when I turn my cannons to their mast.
Radora raises her empty mug as the vow is struck.
Those the cannons who be waiting for Zamar to cast you? Because I'd be seeing more holes in that plan than in any Principe mast's future or no.
His green eyes pry at her from over crossed arms. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Wizard lights drew me like a moth to the alley north of the Wild Mare.
Her eyes turned downcast.
And the blow to the back of the head that followed, Marelight hurt.
She touches a spot behind her ear and hisses.
Then a wolf sat on my chest while a group of thugs went through my pockets.
A wolf?
It growled like a thunderstorm and drooled on my uniform.
Radora pats a stain on her shoulder.
I stumbled back here and traded all I had left for the comforts of the mare.
Alright, let's cast a healing balm on her head. She reflexively closes her eyes and sucks in breath as light from your fingers touches her scalp. She reaches behind her ear, this time wearing a grin.
Perfetto. The gods smile on you.
No sooner does she say this than her own smile falters.
Complanca, but now I am sober again.
Sounds like my Quirrell is with his gang.
When you got their leader, tell them Radora sent you.
She raises her mug and winks. Alright, level up. Never a bad time to level up. Alright. Alchemy and survival, please. Probably give him concentration as well. Definitely give you combat focus. Her as well. No, wait, I don't need a... Well, it's the same as the other guy. I probably should change hers to something else. Maybe athletics? No. That doesn't really matter, I don't think. Alright. Let's go ahead and quick save. Probably go up to the upper floor next.
Where in the blazes is that old man?
A young woman lingers near the stage with a mug of ale clutched tight in her hands. Though she shows no interest in the dancers, the bags beneath her eyes speak to many long nights spent drinking in the tavern. She looks lazily about the room until her gaze alights on you with interest.
Have you seen an old elf hanging around here lately? Dresses funny, probably drunker than an eel in a barrel of mead.
I can't say that I have.
Andra's crushing void, I thought as much.
She sighs heavily and pinches the bridge of her nose.
Listen, the guy I'm looking for owes me a lot of money. 5,000 coppers. You help me find him, and I'll give you 20%.
Deal.
I can't thank you enough. No one's been willing to so much as tell me the date until you came along. The man I'm looking for, Oswald, was especially fond of one of the courtesans upstairs, Analis. Maybe you can get more out of her than I can. She refuses to speak to me, the snippy little cur.
Got a few questions for you first.
What do you want to know?
What does Oswald owe you money for? She stares into the depths of her mug and sighs.
It's my fault, really. I should have known better than to believe that damned old drunk knew what he was doing. Man's a wizard. You understand, and a tinkerer. He convinced himself and me he could, with enough luminous adra, create a device that would add years to one's life. Must have been a crock of shit, because one day he up and ran without a word of explanation or apology. I thought I knew him better than that.
Who are you?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that. But hey, what the hell?
She rakes an impatient hand through her dirty hair.
I'm one of the countless minor nobles that litter the Deerwooden countryside. You know Admeth Hadret, hero of the War of Defiance? He's my great whatever.
What's the problem with that?
When people find out, they start doing weird shit. Calling me lady, opening doors for me, buying me drinks. Really, the title is a mockery. It means nothing to me.
So what's your history with Oswald? She groans theatrically, like she can't bear to recount the tale.
The man's a family friend. Has been for... must be 4 generations now. The perk of being an elf, eh?
Alright, well, we'll figure it out. Alright, looks like we're going upstairs to talk to one of the dancers. And I'm thinking I need to make some coffee and check my phone. Because I'm supposed to play Lord of the Rings Online with my brother tonight. So I will be right back. Alright. Who's your mirror?
See something you like?
The dancer turns to greet you, a coy smile tugging at his lips. He's short for an elf, but no less graceful for his lacking height. His long face and dark eyes lend him a solemn air, but any hint of gloom is chased away by the wash of color in his cheeks.
Aloth, this is the last place I expected to see you. Have your interests changed so much since our time at Bragon Hill?
A grin lights up Ymir's face. He fidgets with his hair self-consciously, smoothing it down where it's been mussed.
No, I still enjoy tile puzzles and deflecting personal questions. Anyway, what are you doing here?
It's an epic answer. I still enjoy deflecting personal questions. He looks away as though he's trying to ignore Ymir's eager gaze. Adair nods in agreement.
I could ask the same of you.
He laughs lightly, hand over his mouth.
I make my own hours, meet fascinating people, and the coin's nothing to sneer at. Better than stuffy old books and unflattering robes.
He casts a critical eye over Aloth's outfit. He opens his mouth to speak, but decides better of it. This is amazing.
It's good to see you again, Aloth. Anyway, I should get back to it. Be well.
He smiles warmly at Aloth, blush coloring the tips of his ears. The faint traces of a smile forms on Adair's lips, while Seraphine strokes his braided beard beneath a quiet smirk, and Jody nibbles on her lips to hide a spreading smile.
It was lovely seeing you.
He catches himself looking panicked.
Perhaps lovely is too strong a word. I meant pleasant. Perfectly agreeable.
He looks at you, chagrined.
I can see where I may have confused the poor fellow in our academy days. 'Twas a right fierce labour getting the lad to finger any flesh that weren't covering his spelly books.
Somewhere growls.
Did you enjoy the show? There's more to see, if you're interested.
Never mind.
Till later, then.
Why not?
Keep your weather eye open.
This is the one we're supposed to talk to. A young woman reclines in the cushions, a hookah hose held delicately in one hand. Eyes closed, she sings to herself. Her voice is soft and inviting. She doesn't move when she hears you approach, but slowly opens her eyes with a lazy smile.
Come, lay your head on my breast. I will read to you the work of my favorite poet, Skilba.
I was looking for someone named Oswald. Sound familiar?
I'm sure I don't know who you're talking about. Now please leave.
She gestures towards the door and makes a shooing motion. Let's see here. It's clear you care quite a bit for him. Let me help. She chews on a knuckle, brow furrowed, deciding whether she should trust you. Then she sighs heavily and gives you a sheepish smile.
Oswald has visited oft of late. He's a sentimental old man, and he longs for the words of our homeland, Adir. I would often read the old epics to him in their original Eldadiran.
Her eyes gain a distant, unfocused look, and a wistful smile spreads across her face.
He's grown paranoid recently, however, always muttering about the shadows following him and other such nonsense. It was quite unnerving, frankly. He came to me in a panic a few days ago and shoved his journal into my hands. He told me he'd be back for it, but I've not seen hide nor hair of him since. I wonder, perhaps his journal would help you find him? Here, take this key. You'll find the journal in my armoire.
Where did it go? Oswald's journal. Golandag. This afternoon I walked the streets of Nekataka, and I felt an unusual spring in my step. I cannot be sure if it is the fine weather, or this archipelago, or my great distance from the deerwood and the blasted goose and fox inn that has gifted me this buoyancy of spirit, but I am grateful nonetheless. I have seen no sign of the girl, highly be praised. God's willing I have slipped her net at last. Dun, dun, dun. As I put me down to bed this evening, I hear a faint whispering beneath my window. I always leave it open better to catch the breeze, and thanks be to Hylia for it, or I might have been none the wiser. However, when I went to investigate, no one was there, and yet I know I heard voices. I may be old, perhaps even paranoid, but I am not crazy. On the next and final page of the journal is the symbol of Wodaka, a broken crown scrawled in a deep red ink. Okay, so we need to go deliver this.
Yeah.
Have you come to hear some verse?
What's your problem with Khan?
Oh, her. Yes, she is persistent, isn't she? She barged in and began asking me all sorts of inappropriate questions about my customers. She grew incensed when I asked her to leave. She's no longer welcome in my room.
Annalise wrings her hands and looks away. Her gaze settles on the armoire in the corner.
I do hope she's not a friend of yours. Her manners are atrocious. It's futile to attempt to summon, but I appreciate your curiosity nonetheless. I am an actor. Trained from childhood. Difficult for you to believe, I'm sure.
A teasing smile pulls at the corner of her lips. Her voice is wistful, almost melancholic.
My troop were my family, and we traveled the whole of the Adir Empire, performing the classic literatures to cheering audiences.
Sounds a pleasant life.
The work was good when the crowds were grateful, and their pockets swelled with coin.
She gives you a pained smile and looks away.
I found a more dependable application of my talents here. To touch the hearts of others with my voice. I could not give that up.
All right, fair enough.
Farewell.
I don't know if any of these have quests. A fire godlike woman polishes a pair of socks, tending to them with the fondness of a mother for the favorite child. The room is dim, illuminated only by the glow of her steel-forged skin. Her eyes burn with the light of Magran's fire. When she hears you enter, she shoots you a look of utter contempt.
I will give you an experience you won't soon forget.
Tell me about yourself.
I must assume the question beneath your question is how a fire godlike came to find herself in a place such as this.
She leans back against a wall of chains. They clank and rattle, and she smiles at the sound.
Perseverance. Being as I am, I have been forced to find it for myself. Now I teach it to others. To live in a world as a thinking, feeling creature, it is difficult. It demands strength. But we cannot always be strong. I help those who have lost their strength to find it again.
Alright, so she's just offering services. A burly dwarven man hums a jaunty tune to himself as he fastidiously organizes his collection of scented oils. When he hears you enter the room, he greets you with a smile at a humongous outstretched hand. His grip is strong and sure.
Come to seek ablutions for your sins?
He slaps his knee with a bark of laughter.
Get it? Ablutions? Absolution? Ha! I crack myself up. Gets me every time.
He wipes a tear from his eye, still chuckling.
Massage? Bath? Whatever you need. Just ask.
How'd you end up here?
Oh, you don't want to hear about that. I lived a boring life, so there wouldn't be much to the telling.
He crosses his thick arms over his chest. A slight blush spreads across his cheeks. Indulge me.
Truth be told, my real passion is pottery. Trouble is, I got these big hands. Not meant for delicate work.
He turns his palms up for you to inspect. Just one is easily large enough to cover your entire face.
Worked out in the end, of course. Now I specialize in relieving tension in a malware and death godlike.
He nods to himself. Alright, I'm gonna go for number one. You seem bored here.
I guess I can't hide my feelings as well as I thought I could.
He gives you a nervous chuckle and scratches at his beard.
The stability's good and all, but I haven't seen anything that gets my blood pumping in ages. You know what I mean?
What's life without a little excitement?
Doing the same old thing day in, day out. It's enough to make a man leap from the nearest window.
He nods vigorously. Oh, you could come with me.
Where to?
His large hands... Okay, he raises an inquisitive brow. His large hands, previously dancing with restless energy, still. You know that 700-foot tall statue made of Adra? I'm going after it.
No kidding.
He nearly drops a bottle of massage oil in his excitement.
I like to see something like that for myself.
He sighs, a wistful edge in his voice.
Do you think I could come with you? Just for a bit.
Grab your things. Let's go.
Hell, you don't have to tell me twice.
So do I recruit him to my boat or to my party? He sounds interesting. Subclass is a Scald. Well, I don't actually want him at the moment, so we're going to keep the party the way it is. That's cool. I never recruited him the first time I played the game, so it pays to just randomly talk to people. Alright, what's in the Queen's berth? Nothing.
You're right. He does do that with his hands.
Fie, 'tis roughing his precious spelling book that scares the lad. Or maybe 'tis notching his wee finger.
You gotta stop. My sides hurt. Oh, I miss this.
Surely you've spied how he's always brushing himself. He won't say, but he's afeard of seagull shit.
Alright, so this is just, that's the name of the place. Is Queen's Berth. Alright. Well, let's quick save. Oh, I forgot I gotta go turn in the book to her. Here's the journal. Khan flips through Oswald's journal, then stops to look at you, eyes wide. Someone has hastily scrawled the broken crown symbol of Wotica across the last page. Khan mutters to herself. She traces the symbol with her finger and frowns.
Oh, Oswald, you've really stepped in it now, haven't you? Getting mixed up with Woodikins? You damned old fool.
She shakes her head sadly and closes the journal with a snap.
Where could they have taken him?
She chews on her lower lip with uneven teeth and mutters to herself. You must have sailed through half the Deadfire to get to Nekataka. Anything catch your eye?
Not really. To be honest, I spent most of the trip out from Defiance Bay, bent over the bulwark, giving Andra a taste of my innards. I hate boats.
Say nothing.
Damn, if only I could find that captain who gave us passage to the Deadfire. Bet he'd know. Wait a tick.
She blinks, remembering.
When our ship neared Nekataka, the bosun told me about a weird temple on an island in the Karatapu Channel, southwest of the city. She wouldn't tell me what it was for, though. Got real spooked when I asked.
Seems as good a place as any.
Go take a look then, and let me know what you find.
She marks the location on your map with a flourish.
With any luck, you'll catch the old goat there in one piece, and we'll both leave here with some weight in our purse.
Alright. I forget how to change... the formation, because there's a page you can click on where you can actually change the various formations. Yeah, it's this one. Alright, let's put a deer at the front. Spellcaster's here, you in the middle, and her right there. Something like that.
Shh. Keep your voices down, my cullies.
Alright, kids are doing something naughty down there. Oh, we can probably go into the Valen Trading Company, because it's daytime now. The director is watching. Okay. Well, because we did work for the company. The clerk busies himself about the room, favoring you with a brief glance. He rubs under his eyes and exhales through his nose.
Merla, if you are not on the schedule, you are here to waste my time.
Examine the clerk. Lucas' shirt is spotted with a number of faded purple stains that you recognize as droplets of wine. Someone has tried unsuccessfully to wash them out. Noting your interests, Luca tugs his jacket closed.
The servers at the tavern are clumsy. Most clumsy, indeed.
He clears his throat and fans at his neck. So what is this place?
Stumbling from the street, I see.
Lucas sneers and surveys you with a patronizing look.
This is the heart of the Valian Trading Company. You would know that if you had a reason to be here. From her office, Governor Alvari carries out the will of the Songretta Mea Compressa.
Who is the Sangreta? The Congress of the Company, a body of elven high-stakes investors. Excuse me, a body of 11, not elven, high-stakes investors who collectively operate the Valen Trading Company.
We clerics are the fingers of their long reach.
He clutches his hand over his heart and bows sharply. Alright, so we don't have any business here at the moment, and I don't think there's anything we're going to be able to do in here, perhaps? Paladin of the Five Sons. Yeah, we don't have a reason to talk to the governor.
You have business here?
Ah. The guard holds up a hand, appraising you with a few sweeping glances. I've just come from Port Maje. Governor Clario suggested I might find work here.
You are in luck. The governor is between meetings. Go on in.
Standing next to her desk and lost in thought, Governor Alvari looks up at your approach. Her expression of intent focus thaws instantly, and she greets you with a startlingly sunny smile.
An interesting surprise. The Watcher of Cadnoa, no? I am told that is your ship in the harbor. Ikosi, I mean nothing by it. All newcomers are of great interest here. I am Nueva Alvari, Governor in Residence of the Valiant Trading Company here in Nekataka. What brings you to my door?
I've come from Port Maje. Governor Clario suggested that the Valiant Trading Company might have work for me.
Generous of him. I am a little surprised he gave you up, to be honest. His operations on Port Maje must be going more smoothly than reported. How much do you know about the Luminous Adra trade?
I heard enough of this from Governor Clario.
Ugh, he does love a good speech, Ikosi. Some weeks ago, we received word of a large quantity of Luminous Adra on a distant island. Pukukahara. It is not charted on any of our maps. However, Pukukahara is said to neighbor the island of Tikawara, and we've already made contact with the natives there. We dispatched an expedition to Tikawara with instructions to locate the Adra site and determine its value. Our people have neither returned nor sent any word on their progress.
She spreads her hands in a gesture of helplessness.
We are too long delayed, and someone must finish the job. A watcher can determine if there is essence in the Adra, if it is worth the trouble and investment to remove it. Information for which we are willing to pay.
If I'm going to sail, I'll need to purchase the supplies first.
Yes, I take your meaning. Here, a taste of what's to come. This will be of some use to you, I think. It entitles you to act as a commissioned agent of the Valiant Trading Company. Present it and you will be recognized as such.
Alvari presses a document into your hand. A Valiant Trading Company writ of commission.
Until then, I believe we're finished. Return here once you have word of our agents and our prize. Oh, and take care upon the open sea. There are greater hazards in these waters than a few pirates.
Okie dokie. Alright, let's get back to it. Alright, we've explored. And we can go explore the back alley. Because that's where that one woman was attacked.
Behold, Aethys is risen again. He is glorious in form and purpose. God shepherds us all, traveler. Seek out his temple along the sacred stair, that thy path shall be made clear.
Might not have gone into somebody's house. I wonder if they will say anything.
Your weather eye open.
Leave it to me.
I don't know what this place is about. I'm sure we'll need to come back here later for something. Alright, this back alley is where that captain was attacked.
Worry me, Alof. I'd be letting the lass out to play more.
It isn't you, and I didn't ask.
Could make a right nice excuse to be exploring your... well, everything, I.
You do realize you're not the first ill-mannered Orlin to suggest that?
Alright, let's see what we can find back here in this alley where she was attacked. If anything. Some sort of a show going on here.
Well met, stranger. If you feel like investing in protection, I'd be willing to trade iron for copper.
The selection is fine, but I'm looking for even better equipment.
I assure you that everything I sell is well crafted. But I will admit I'm not quite the weaponsmith that Marihi is, nor do I possess Uto's expertise with firearms. Marihi you can find in Pariki's Overlook, the district to the north. Uto has a shop in the Brass Citadel, in the eastern part of Nekataka.
Let me see what you have.
Lots to see. Take your time.
Alright. You've got an interesting helmet, which costs a lot of money. You've got some interesting stuff. All of it costs a bit of coin. You know what? Does can I use a shield? I can, but I'm using... Yeah. So, well, we're not going to get anything at the moment. Let's talk to
That's close
Tila.
enough.
The young girl narrows her eyes and reaches for a dagger tucked into her back pocket. Her cheeks are sallow and she licks the edges of her dried lips. Even if she had eaten this week, you doubt she'd be in fighting shape. Give her an egg. You look like you'd use this, kid.
Agrasima.
She takes the eggs in both hands and gently nestles it in a pouch.
That'll staunch my pains for an evening at least.
What's a kid like you doing on the streets of Nekataka?
Nasenale. I've never had a roof over my head longer than an evening.
It's just she called me a nosy person. She cocks an eyebrow at you.
I guess cutting me loose was cheaper on my parents than a passage back to the Republics. Or a few bites of bitter squash.
Do you know anything about the local pirates hassling Zamar?
Ugh, if they're the same ones who robbed Radora blind.
She drags her threadbare sleeve across her nose.
The boss and his wolf sleep their fun off by day. But by night, he and his botso friends keep to the alley giving out bruises for coin.
She gestures off in the opposite direction. Alright, farewell. Alright. What's... No, it's not that quest. It's not that quest either. What the hell's the name of that quest? Ah, the shipwreck's plate. Dog's got a drop. Travels a little bit. Dean sleeps by day and make troubles in the alleys by night. Okay, so where do they sleep, though? That's a good question. This house? I'm getting lots of pets. I don't know exactly how
I
to...
don't be supposing we could, blow swabbed and sparkling.
What do you do with the animals? So how do I... Ah, here it is. You can put the pet here. Okay. And it's locked on everybody else. I don't see the pet. Does it show up when we zone out? Yep, there it is. Alright, well, time is it right now? I think we can rest or something, right? Non-combat fast mode. Oh my god, I completely forgot about non-combat fast mode. That's groovy. Alright, can I rest for a little bit? Wait. Okay, supposedly those guys are in the alley at night.
Sure. Can't do it.
So she asked him what he calls that trick, and he says, the consueli. You the one causing trouble in Cotter's neighborhood?
The wolf at this man's side raises her hackles and growls. He shushes and pats her behind the ears, all the while keeping his focus trained on you.
I thought Remaro's pup kept better company.
Cotta glances at Seraphim.
Ahoy, friend. So you still be doing that old referring to yourself by name thing? Would have thought it'd have cost you enough lays by now to be dropping that affectation.
Cotter has not missed the sound of your voice, Seraphim. Your smoke and mirror ghosts do not impress Kaletzia, and they do not scare Cotter.
A line of drool drips down between the wolf's bared teeth.
Sorry, Valian names all sound the same to me. Which one is the pretty wolf?
You'll know soon enough.
Adair, that's awesome. Pulls spirits from the in-between. Smoke and mirrors? I think not. Kota's eyes snap open the instant that he grows aware of the many forms thronging you. The moment passes as you dispel them from view.
Come, Planker. Kota does not doubt his eyes. What do you want?
He tugs on the wolf's scruff and drags her back to his side. Someone robbed Captain Redora. Anything to do with that?
Depends. You seeking Vengiata for that house?
She owed money to Zamar. Money I need back.
Kota heard a newcomer was talking with Zamar.
His free hand moves towards the weapon sling on his belt.
Wrong play, Cotter. Let's be keeping this a friendly fucking chats. Lest the captain be calling your raise.
His furred hands rest near his own weapons.
Look, Selezia. Your supper comes with blue fur.
He nudges the wolf, eliciting a deep growl.
Tell the shipwright to accept Cotta's deal before he suffers another setback.
Why are you shaking down Zamar?
Zamar can keep Principe ships afloat.
Cotta nutters his eyes.
Cotta tires of seeing his family sailing derelict wrecks.
What's in it for me if I help broker an agreement between you and Zamar?
Cotta will see that his casita knows your name. There's also coin to spare. Redora's coin. But she's too soused to miss it. And Cotta will get you the Principe discount on Zamar's goods. Deal?
Alright, I quick saved before I get here. I changed my mind.
You're letting go of a good deal.
Any thoughts, Seraphim?
You've got to ask, Cap. A Principe deal be the all-round winner?
Orland shrugs, running a furred hand over his braided beard.
Zamar gets himself steady work. The pirates know they're looked after. And you and me get to shove off from this mess with a Principe favour in our hold. Charting another course risks running us aground of everyone's bad side.
Better that you listen to the hairy piglet.
Cotta nods, glancing from Seraphim to
Cotta
you.
will see that his casita Redora's coin, and Cotta will get you the Principe discount on...
I'll hammer out the details
Here's
of
an
Zamar.
advance. Go tell Zamar the good news. Cotta will handle the rest.
Alright. Alright, where's Zamar? Is he only here in the morning? Oh, he's right there.
Ahoy there.
Nice.
Any news worth telling?
Zamar dusts off his shoulders. Yeah, I spoke to the Principi on your behalf.
You actually confronted those feral cats?
Cool, cats be sacred, shipboard, you know. Wouldn't have taken you for one to be painting the Principe all godly.
Sinnerfin smirks, arms akimbo.
Folks shoreside sometimes stick 'em in the stew pot. See if that strikes you for something weighty.
Zamar rolls his eyes. He crosses his arms and looks past Seraphin at you. I think you're better off taking their deal. Sighing through his nose, Zamar squeezes his eyes shut.
I needed coin, not a middleman to negotiate with cutthroats.
He pulls a small flintlock from his vest and holds it pointed at the ground. Fedora hasn't got any money. The Principi are your only chores. His chest rises and falls with heavy breaths as he lifts the gun halfway.
If it's between my life and my dignity...
Gritting his teeth, he thumbs the hammer down and tucks the firearm back into his belt.
The Principi have their shipwright, and may Andra take them for it.
He grabs a fistful of his beard and grunts, pulling away with a few strands of hair. Opening his palm, lets them drift away in the wind.
Cotter recognizes a friend. Fair payment for a smooth transition.
He tosses you a purse.
Cotter's just making sure no one bothers our friend.
He tips his head to indicate Zamar. You doing okay, Zamar?
This idiot's wolf has already peed on my good leg.
Zamar glowers at Silesia.
What in Abaddon's stinking furnace do you want?
Like to see your goods.
Oh, come take a look.
He steps aside to show you the contents of his crates. I don't think I have anything yet to sell. Might as well sell these things. I'll be coming back to buy a galleon later. A long while later. I don't have enough money to do anything. How much does the next tier of ship cost?
You again? Oh.
The Voyager's 18,000. I do believe I've done everything over on that side of town. Now we're going to go over here. Quick save.
Where is my postinago of a brother? You Magdico. Where is that spoiled brat?
A woman in fine clothes clutches a ledger in both hands. She searches the faces of passers-by, settling on yours with an uncertain frown. Seems to be the problem.
Laro is past due for a company meeting. Mother wants me to drag the elusive louse back by his ear.
She tucks the book under her arm.
Must be nice to be a layabout. Uncle Engbert would have tanned my hide.
A faint trace of a smile forms on Adair's lips.
Fuck. I am angry and jealous in equal measure. You'd think this district was a maze, the way he manages to hide.
She glances over your shoulder and sighs, then looks back at you with sudden recognition.
The spirit magnet. Sientere, that I did not recognize you. If you desire to get in the graces of the Valiant Trading Company, we can help each other.
What kind of clout do you have with the trading company?
Mother's bank commands the wealth of the Deadfire campaign.
Nera absently pats the cover of her ledger.
Could I persuade you to watch out for Laro? I'd pay generously for your trouble.
Study her hands. Nera has been digging her nails into her ledger, leaving crescent moon-shaped impressions in the binding. She notices your interest and holds the book protectively close.
I'm concerned because Laro tends to feud with Orso, one of the local Valera rats.
What do you mean by Valera rat?
The Valeras, a brood of sea vermin playing at nobility.
She lifts her ledger as if to bring it down on a pest.
We squabble and compete, but Laro, the Pastinago, takes it too far.
If I happen across Laura, I'll
Would
let you
you?
know.
I'll be waiting at the estate in case he happens to return. Laro and his miscreant friends carouse at the tavern, the falls above the Adra Mill, and the southwestern bridge. If you see him, tell...
Well, we do have this thing with chasing a rogue god to the ends of Aora, but I guess if it's on the way...
Alright. Let's check the tavern first. Shit, above the Adra Mill. I haven't seen... Okay, the falls would be up there. The southwestern bridge. We'll check there next. That would be... this?
My one solace from the tedious bureaucracy.
I don't think we have anything else to say to Redora, but might as well see.
Ado, you return.
Your next grog's on me.
Agrassima. Even in the... If you grant wishes, there is a vacancy on my ship.
Yet another reminder that not every seaworthy vessel be crewed up to the standards of the sorcerer.
As captain of the Defiant, I'm already taken.
Sientere, frero. Next time around the wheel, perhaps.
Alright, well, I don't see anybody here in trouble. So I'm thinking that her brother isn't here. Let's ask
Now,
Barkeep.
what can I do for you?
Nope, he doesn't
Seeing you.
have any. Alright, let's check the bridge.
A giant? One of the Rathoon?
No, much bigger. Such is the rumor.
Sounds like sailor tales to me.
Alright, I don't know what those are. Brine Imp. Alright, got some reputation. Alright, well there's nobody doing anything here. So I wonder if they're up by the falls. Nothing here. Well, that's the southwestern bridge. So I wonder if they're up with us. She said something about up by the falls. Okay. Alright, where are you guys running off to? Okay, you're gonna go up through here.
Have you heard about the commotion at the palace?
Of course. Something about Luminous Adra.
A giant made of Luminous Adra.
All I know is that they're all at each other's throats up there.
Alright, this is definitely it because that's one of the Valeras. Against a backdrop of jeering youths, a young woman raises her arms with an air of practiced drama. Before her, two men stand across from each other, mirroring scowls.
You both attest that you have made all possible efforts to come to a peaceful...
The woman trails off as you approach, and you find yourself the sudden target of the crowd's attention.
Who is this Nasenale? How many cousins do you have or so?
Loro chuckles.
Postenago. Does that look like any cousin of mine?
How should I know? Your kin lie with eels.
Orso glares at Laro and bites back whatever insult he had at the ready.
We have business. What do you want?
I'm here to fetch Laro. A few chuckles arise from the bystander, and Laro's face flushes with embarrassment.
The family keeps you on a tight leash, Laro. Will getting impaled on a Valera blade prove something to them?
Psst. What's your words, Oaf? You want the Juana to know we're dueling?
My bad so to the tribals. We should be free to settle matters on Valiant terms.
Orso glances in your direction with annoyance.
Small wonder the old empire collapsed in civil strife if this is the Valian way.
He sneers.
And how do your colonies fare, Adira?
Orso narrows his eyes at Aloth. You don't have to do this, you know.
If you want a civilized resolution, you're talking to the wrong folk.
Aloth flashes a quick, pleased glance.
This street thug called my family a warren of corrupt inbreds. But is there a dung heap in all the world that does not have a little Valera cousin scratching through it?
Laro opens his arms wide and smiles to the milling crowd.
That wolf he calls mother would have us live out our days polishing Bardato silver.
Orso spits on the ground between them. Is this slight really worth one of your lives?
Ak, this is but one chapter in a long anthology of Bardato arrogance.
Arrogance? Per complancanet, you should thank me for my patience.
Yeah, so aren't there better alternatives than a duel to the death?
Nothing less than the total disgrace of the Valeras would satisfy me.
Then you will die unfulfilled.
Orso shakes his head and huffs. Would your families approve of this?
My brother Martino would applaud if he knew.
My sister would not approve in the slightest, but this is my duty, all the same.
Do what you like, just get it over with.
Finoma.
Gelarde.
I think I'm gonna have to reload that. Oh, maybe not. The duelists square off and tentatively circle each other. Stocky Orso moves with heavy strides while Laro takes precise, measured steps. Onlookers gather and press at the edges of the poorly defined arena. Their jeering lowers to expectant mutters. The duelists second bring forth their weapons. Take the opportunity to study each of the opponents. You note the sweat on Lara's upper lip and the furrow of concentration cleaving Orso's brow. Find a better vantage point. Nope. Watch quietly for now. Duelists cross their swords, bow and salute. The tranquil moment ends with a burst of commotion. Despite their difference in size, the duelists seem evenly matched. Yell, "Look out!" Laro glances up with an anxious expression, his focus momentarily broken. Just also begins to ring his edge. Hard parry since it starts to the ground. Yeah, I'm gonna need to reload that.
Not bragging or laughing anymore, are you, Laro? What's done? Atello, my father, may wish to meet you.
Yeah, no, we need to reload that, because that's not how I wanted things to end. Escape, load game, load quick save. Alright, let's try this again. Okay.
Who is this? Boston. How should I? We have business. What do you want?
What's going on here?
This doesn't concern you. My bad so small wonder the old. And how do your colonies fare, Adira?
You don't have to do this, you know.
If you want to see this street, that wolf he calls
Surely
mother,
there are better
would have us
alternatives.
nothing less, then you will die unfulfilled.
Alright, so options. Keep talking and I'll draw your soul. No, how about anyone can kill? Fighting to first blood would be enough to prove who's the better man. A pair of duelists eye each other warily.
I was the one who suggested fisticuffs, but you were eager to cut me open.
To first blood, then. Shall we resume?
Alright, let's try this again. Study the opponents. Better vantage point. Not gonna make it. Watch quietly for now. Watch a little longer. Stop. Yeah, so. Orso's killing stab goes wildly as missing his opponent's heart and instead carving alongside across Orso's cheek.
Not so pretty anymore, Posterano.
Laro, go find your sister so she knows you're alive.
This does not end here. Just make sure the other...
So, I'm going to try one other option just for curiosity's sake. Because I have the option to threaten them with my Watcher powers. I'm just curious how that would end up. Alright, let's try this one more time.
You both.
Who is busted?
Yep.
We have
I
business.
know. What's
This
going
doesn't
on?
My bad small wonder. And how do your colony?
Good reason.
That wolf he calls
Surely there are better
nothing less
alternatives.
than you will die unfulfilled.
Keep talking and I'll draw your soul to the great beyond.
Miller, scatter!
Laro whistles to his attendants and they break apart in a disorganized exodus from the scene.
What? Where are you going, you stuffed shirt? Hey, wait!
Orso and his comrades scramble to follow
This
suit.
isn't over, you coward! You can't hide behind your corrupt mother forever.
Orso leaves the arena in a hurry. Well, that is an option that didn't involve anybody getting hurt. Investigate the ongoing feud. And I will quick save that, because now I actually have the option to investigate. She's not here now, so she's probably up at the house. You can find Azalea in her study.
Laro has returned to the estate intact. Perfecto.
Nero loosens her grip on her ledger.
Too much Bardato blood has been spilled in the name of Vengiata.
Tell Lara to stay out
Here,
of trouble.
For your discretion.
She passes you a bunch of coins and adds a short mark to her ledger before snapping it
You
shut.
have not met Mother, have you?
Nero thumbs her chin, leaving a spot of ink behind.
I'm certain she'll have work for someone invested in the family. Our family can't go on like this.
Leave it to me.
Can I close the door? Quick save.
I don't be supposing we could blow it up. Easy breezy, wet and sleazy.
Alright, nobody saw us, that's good.
Ah, yes. The newcomer. I thought you might visit. Lady Izali Bardato. Custom dictates, I say, at your service. But I have not the time for such lies.
She regards you with a cool expression, but stands with a fighter's poise.
You saw my son dueling with the Valera boy. At least he survives to learn from his mistakes.
Well, for now anyway.
When Valera and Bardato cross each other, only blood and sorrow remain.
Zoli sighs, her gaze turning away. Do you ever see your families making peace?
Perhaps in time, if great Wodica judges us worthy of supporting the company. Word has spread fast about the little spectacle of the dogs. You've certainly caught everyone's attention. Perhaps the Watcher of Cadnua and House Bardato can help one another.
What are you after?
Queen's Beth whispers of a Valera plot against my family. Something grander than pointless duels. You are a newcomer to the Deadfire, uniquely positioned to loosen Valera tongues.
She taps her chin and regards you thoughtfully.
Zilli Valera strums a lute by the watchtowers. A meek-tempered boy, fonder of song and drink than the family business. He might spill something of his family's affairs.
What if there's no plot?
Then I will sleep better at night.
Zali shrugs, her brow furrowed.
My hopes do not hinge on being proven right at every turn.
I'll go and see what I can get out
Try
of
not
this
to
kid.
alert the Valeras of our knowledge. That is the point of involving an outside agent.
You notice something unusual. Your attention is drawn to Azali's desk. Among the assorted ledgers and documents, it's a brass seal, still dripping with heated wax. The drippings have dried into an almond-shaped pattern which resembles the shape of an eye fringed with bird feathers. A nictating membrane flicks across its surface in a barely perceptible wink.
Are you still with me?
Azali breaks your focus by waving her hand in front of your face. She glances between you and her tidy desk, frowning. Your desk, the eye. She glances back at her desk again, this time with impatience.
I'd venture that you're working too hard.
About this feud.
Vitello doesn't make my affairs any easier with his wayward ambitions.
She motions for you to continue. Would you be willing to speak with Vitello?
Oh, dear. You're serious, aren't you?
She stifles a chuckle.
You think I'd put myself in pistol range of that old imp?
Maybe I could speak with him on your behalf, convince him to see reason.
I think you overestimate how much of my trust you currently enjoy. More pleasant subjects, I hope. Because we do not belong there, little better.
Better is self-deception, mayhaps.
Alright, farewell. Well, I guess we don't really have a choice here. We have to go talk to that kid. Which is... place his loot around one of the local watchtowers. Alright, and that's a moment for me to take a break. I will be back here in a few minutes.